Because the times
Woke up this morning thinking about
Those summer days.
best friend got caught up when I stayed in Douglasville. Doing some stuff by myself. I'm a
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. How Tyler the Creator became a fashion icon. Let's get into it.
By Skillshare. The first 1,000 people to sign up with the link in the description will get 1 month of free access to thousands of courses. My interests grew parallel with Odd Future. I discovered them in 2011 accidentally through the song Orange Juice. It took me quite a while to discover the entire collective, but I enjoyed every minute of it. Each member was so unique. They had an artist for every kind of mood, especially for someone in the early teens at the time. Through their mixtapes, the Odd Future Tumblr, or Loiter Squad, we were always given an influx of content from this group, so it was next to impossible to get bored of them. Although many of the members still stay shining till this day, the founder of the group, Tyler the Creator, bloomed in his own way. Over the past few years, he's crowned many hit singles and albums that frankly blew everybody away. But a part of his abundance of talents, Tyler is well known for his eccentric fashion taste, and especially now, golf. Although his sense of fashion has always been a part of who he is, how did Tyler the Creator become a fashion icon? Many of them met through school, some connected through MySpace. This led to them coming together at Sid's home studio. Bastard, Goblin, Earl, and Domo's Rolling Papers were all recorded here. A lot happened within a year or two. Tyler released the Yonkers music video in February of 2011, and they made their television debut on Jimmy Kimmel only a month later, performing Sandwiches. The shock of Odd Future was definitely working, ranking the home studio made Yonkers on Rolling Stone's 23rd best single of 2011. A symbol initially drawn by 16-year-old Tyler led to the creation of the own independent label Odd Future Records, created only 4 years later. In the same year of 2011, Frank went on to feature on Watch the Throne, which had the #1 debut on the Billboard 200.
I make stupid shirts and people like it, so I'm grateful. Cats and shit and donuts. Like, in reality, this shirt is stupid as fuck. It's ugly. It's tacky. People like this shit.
Yeah. You got a point there.
I'm excited.
This donut became even more iconic as soon as they opened the Odd Future pop-up shop on Fairfax, a street where they found themselves loitering only a few months back. It was so successful that the pop-up shop turned into a full-time store. The store was an Odd Future hub for many years, but it also birthed Golfwang, derived from Odd Future's Wolfgang Kill 'Em All. He told Fader in 2014 that everyone was designing their own merchandise for Odd Future at the time, so Tyler began to design his own, Golfwang. So I started my baby, Golfwang. Every design, the way the photos are shot, the way the site is. He further admits that he feels the most fulfilled when he has complete creative control. He loves working on Golfwang because he's the boss. I've never said that before. I don't like saying it. I like being regular, but I like calling the shots. I am my reality. Everything with T is what he wanted. Tyler met Phil Toselli, current art director, while he was still designing clothes for Odd Future. Toselli described Tyler's brand sketches as one of an 8-year-old, but awesome. He further stated that he has a really distinct and crude style. It's funny to watch him, because he's not trained in any way. He just has wild ideas, and he taught himself how to make it into reality. He's very rapid fire, bouncing off walls and hyper as shit. It just works. The Odd Future store lasted for about 3 years, until December of 2014. The lease ended, and the owner of the building and him just weren't seeing eye to eye. We also found out in 2014 that Tyler hasn't designed for Odd Future since 2012, shortly after his personal creation, Golfwang. This would all tie into the lack of interest in pushing to keep the Odd Future store open. Golfwang had a ton of unstructured brand drops. Tyler introduced his first lookbook, Holiday 1991, in December of 2011. The closure of the Odd Future store and moving on to his own designs brought more focus to the brand, leading to the first bigger collaboration in 2014, Golfwang and Van Syndicate. This collaboration was very successful, and further instated Tyler as a leader in fashion. The iconic look at the time was high socks and old schools. Whether you wanted to admit it or not, this is exactly where the influence came from. If you go through the official lookbooks on the Golfwang site, you can see the progression of Tyler's music style mimicking his brand. You can see the maturity reflected through his clothes as well. The Cherry Bomb era was unfiltered happiness from Tyler. The album had next to no dark songs. The 2015 collection reflects that greatly. The same goes with the collections in parallel to Flower Boy, Igor, and Call Me If You Get Lost. In 2016, golf began to become Tyler's vision with an official runway. The success was followed by a 2017 collaboration with Converse. With Vans, he was only able to choose a colorway, but with this Converse collaboration, he crafted his very own shoe silhouette.
That's why Converse
with the infamous flower blooming on the
is the best
side.
shoe.
As Tyler
Converse is the best shoe under Yeezys. Under Yeezys.
directly stated, Converse is allowing me to bloom, no pun intended, and it's great.
No, I like it. I love Converse. I wear Converse.
Let's do
every
great things.
day I'm out. I wear Converse.
Wonderful things.
They last forever. You can run in them. You can walk
Golf
on them.
bloomed quite literally. Tyler opened a golf
Just
flagship
saying.
store after a 3-year hiatus of the original Odd Future store. Converse let the brand grow in every single way. The collections began to be more refined and unique. What was once just a few cut and sew pieces a few years ago slowly became 100-piece collections. Golf even carries stock in Australia to South Korea now. When I say he stayed true to his core, I mean the color. I mean the idea of not caring what others think and being different, which was expressed greatly in his different music tastes when he was younger. This was through NERD or the Neptunes. Pharrell, member of both the groups and owner of Billionaire Boys, will forever be Tyler's core influence. Golfwang even referenced the Neptunes remix on a graphic tee. Additionally, he's mentioned NERD and the Neptunes dozens of times throughout his tweets and lyrics. But for the Odd Future brand itself, in my opinion, had a downfall over the years. With most of the merchandise being the same rendition of the donut, the brand has become rather repetitive and lost its meaning that it once held in the early 2010s. But they do keep stock at nearly every single Zumiez retailer, so I guess you could say that it stayed successful in its own way. The thing about Tyler is that he's always been a creative artist. Even as young as 16, he envisioned a brand label and created one of the biggest hip-hop collectives of this decade. We can see his influence in fashion as early as 2011, especially when he wore the Supreme box logo camp hats. Everybody wanted in on it. This eventually moved to the Odd Future line and in present day, the Golf line. Virgil Abloh once said that everything I do is for the 17-year-old version of myself. With Tyler being so close to him, I believe that he strongly felt the same. The Golf line matured over the years with Tyler's style. Now in the Call Me If You Get Lost era, his recent lines are quite travel-esque, specifically having a luggage collaboration and expanding into fragrances with French Waltz, and a recent pop-up he did in Malibu. Just this past month, Tyler did the score for Virgil's Louis Vuitton show, performed by an orchestra, which sounds very believable, but looking at it in the bigger context, it's really all he's ever wanted. You can see it in his expression as he zips down the runway at the end of the show in his bike. Considering that he started as a kid drawing donuts and messing around on Fairfax just a decade before, he's done a lot. Throughout his career, Tyler has been one of the few artists to conceptualize the idea of doing whatever you want. Amongst many doubts over his career, he's won Grammys, collaborated with Converse, and is now orchestrating music for some of the biggest fashion shows in the world. Only time will tell how much bigger golf can get, and the artistic direction Tyler himself will go with. But I'm definitely looking forward to where this journey will bring us next. Now I want to hear from you guys. What do you think of Tyler's fashion line?
I feel like it's genius. I'm proud of Tyler. I want him to keep growing. And don't give up. Just keep your shit growing, bro. This fashion, what you want to do, and music is what you want to do, and directing orchestras, if that's what you want to do, or making films, is that what you want to do? Do it. I tell everybody that. I'm sorry if I'm like, I'm excited because this motivates me. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people nowadays, they listen to what everybody else thinks. They do everything that everybody else wants them to do. They don't know how to think for themselves. And when you see people that think for themselves, it's happy, it's liberating. They're like, damn, now I see other people that think for themselves. That's what you're supposed to be like. You're supposed to be wanting to think for yourself. If you want to do whatever you want to do in this world, do it. If you don't need to go to college, do it. Just do it. invest your money into it. It's crazy because you could put, if you get $1,000 paycheck, right, and you still live with your parents, you can put $500 into your dreams. 90-something, 50-something, 100 and something, another 100 and something, a few hundreds and something. Like, invest in your dreams. Whatever you want to do, do it. That being said, be sure to like, subscribe. Peace.
Mario the poet.